What's up, Digidestins? This is Kyle Lee, better known as RideMyAvatar, and today we're going to be talking none other about a EX-09 case from Questionable Plays. They had 17 people play in the event. It was a smaller turnout because, again, right after the 4th of July, and people were very much not wanting to drive all the way out. But you know what? Let's talk about all the fun and excitement that was there to have. So breaking down Questionable Plays EX-09 case tournament, there was 2 Omnimon Ultra S decks, 2 Negamons, 2 Puppets, 2 Sakuya, 1-time appearance Adventure, DM version 4, Galacticmon, Magnamon X, Purple Hybrid, Royal Knights, Shine Greymon, and Safiga. So again, Safigamon's very interesting. It was my first round matchup with Puppets, and God was it terrifying. Safiga can really put in work. Now, again, the final standings was DM4 was the big boy of the set. It was Chimera taking win. So it's always fun to see where these kind of lists come from. And then you have Purple Hybrid, then Negamon, and then Adventure. So these are just one of the few decks that kind of just popped off. And we'll look at them more in depth shortly. Just taking some look at some of the amazing pictures that were taken, just field stances, cute little art drawing. Then here's the finalists. 3 of them are big locals. The others are part of the Question Play crew. This is kind of cool to see. Just Dwayne. Here's the first place winner. He gets a little cute little art. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 booster boxes, which is pretty cool. Now, for the next couple big events, BT22 case tournament, this is going to be Rogue State Games in New Jersey. So if you guys want to come out, go for it. But, this is on August 2nd, which I'll be commentating for. And then we have September 27th for Rogue States for EX-10 Sinister Order. So at least they're giving a little bit of time so you can get your stuff. And then October 18th, wow, the gap is not even there. For BT23 for Hackers Slumber, it's just crazy to me that we're going to have so many case events in a row in New Jersey for Northeast. Really cool. You guys should definitely come out and see. Now let's take a look here. As you can see, there was top 8, and then the final was a, top 8 plays out event. So first in Swiss was DM4, then Shine Greymon in 2nd, Purple Hybrid 3rd, Sakuya 4th, Negamon in 5th. Then you have Royal Knights in 6th, Adventures 7th, and Puppets 8th. So kind of good for a good showing, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. As you can see, Adventures, as we saw in the picture earlier, this is just where standings ended up coming from. Now let's take a look here. First off, I know people are really excited to see Chimera do well because nobody knows how this deck's going to turn out. Chimera with Assembly 7, getting 7 pieces and coming in for 3 is really powerful. On play, when digivolving, you may place 1 level 4 DM trait card with from your trash as the Digimon's top Digivolution, then delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the same color as any of the Digimon's Digivolutions. If you have 6 or more colors in this Digivolution, instead delete one of each of your opponent's Digimon with different colors. So Chimeramon being able to clear board for a 3-cost removal is nasty, and then this thing gets bigger for each of his colors in his Digivolution. So because you're on Rainbow dot deck, you play almost every color under the sun. So this leads into being very scary for your opponent because you could have all these colors in and be able to clear most of their board, and he hits like a freight train. So especially it being that it has Rush and Security Attack 1, which then you can combo in with, Unimon skill, a Recovery 1 if it gets deleted, Barrier to keep it sticking around, even more boost with Greymon. You have Retaliation. You have basically delete one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon. You have basically when attacking, draw a card, trash a card. You have Piercing. You have a Suspend skill, and then you do have Jamming as another inheritable, and then Blocker. So giving you pretty much a great plethora of uses. You have Betamon with Jamming, you have Kunemon with Piercing, you have Raid, and then you have a way of all your opponent's security gets minus 3k. So no matter where your lineup is, you have some great value. And being able to splash in Titanmon Ace as your big like ace surprise on play, when did you play one level 4 or lower DM trait card from your trash without paying its cost all turns, all your version 4 traded Digimon gains blocker and retaliation. So again, it's kind of focusing on that fantastic ability. And also you do have access to Skull Greymon being another, you know, treated as a level 4 Chimera assembly, because again, Skull Greymon was a key factor as in his arm. So yeah, being all this mishmash, it seems that this version of DM did extremely well. You have analog youths being able to cycle in pieces to trash, and because you'll have a lot of value going for yourself, you'll be in a good spot, because again, analog man will help, you know, when you play a 7 cost, you get a piece underneath Chimera to draw gain of memory, so he'll come in for 2 costs. Youth will help, you know, when a face down card is placed as under your Digimon's Digievolution cards by spending the same amount gain of memory. Then if you have 7 or fewer cards in hand, draw a card. So again, this can make Chimera come in for 1, just having analog man and youth out, and meat helps you digivolve for cheaper. So I mean, again, it's up to you how you want to build your decks, but a DM Chimera is always spicy. Now, Shine Greymon, Dwayne's been cooking this forever. He has been running this deck to the ground, so it's kind of great that he finally made his top results with it, and he put in work for it. I mean, being able to take Shine Greymon with the abilities it has, especially with the new Shine Greymon being able to give Russian Alliance and being able to allow your Marcus to attack on the turn it's, you know, you get to do this, leads into making your opponent have some very interesting dynamics. And again, I love that he brought back BT17 Marcus. Being able to make another Marcus at Marcus, you know, be able to punch or block is really good, actually. So I mean, he puts in so much time and care into this deck. This is his pride and joy, to be straight honest with you. So it's really good to see that he did well. Now, we do have Purple Hybrid. Being Purple Hybrid, as you know, they kind of went and moved in. Mimi's a very interesting tech just to be able to use, you know, make your Jack Raid more useful, makes your calling more useful, makes Purple Mem boost when you're digging for it cheaper to get pieces. You know, just having Mimi out really does sometimes make some gameplay strats very different. I like that they went with 4 Cupimons for its on deletion gain of memory to help extend, because again, you did lose out on getting pieces back through, you know, your Matt Ishida being banned, but you know, you do now make it so your options are a little more viable, or when you trash a card in your hand using one of your effects by spending the same or gain of memory. So it helps extend and kind of just set up your Koichis to kind of just win the game there. You know, having the Gallants, because you are going to be milling so much, these things come in for free very quickly. Now, we do have Sakuyan. Sakuyan just does Sakuyan things, being able to, you know, you play physical trainings or yellow scrambles for free and then just basically loop your opponent and make them have a bad day. It's just how that goes. I think at the end of the day, we have great value with Sakuyan. It's getting more support in December, but yeah, that's about all we are going to talk about because it's a toxic deck. This is where everybody's wanting to see is the Abatoman. Abatoman is a new powerhouse in the deck. So this basically gets collision, piercing, security attack 1, reboot, and blocker. So this thing has keyword soup as if it was going out of style. So when one of your opponent's Digimon attacks by returning 4 Negamon from your negative mon from your trash or Digi-Evolution cards to the bottom of the Digi-Egg deck, this Digimon moves to the battle area, which is really good move being by placing 3 level 6 or lower with Negamon text from your trash as this tops Digi-Evolution, delete all your opponent's lowest level Digimon. Again, it has a bunch of aces too, so you know, using Cyberdramon Ace to be able to dig for your ties to make it so your a Battlemon core can block things. Again, he's very much big into Setcon, and it kind of just proves, right? You know, Island Adventure, making your stuff bigger is always scary, and your opponent has to be ready for that, right? And being able to redirect all attacks. Ooh, spicy, 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 spicy. For sure. Then you have Vikemon Ace being able to de-digivolve, and Abatoman to force them to attack if they don't want to try to get the Abatoman core out. So, yeah. I mean, Digimon Emperor punishes so much in the format because, again, they are not going to just be able to push up that rookie that's been gaining them so momentum. So this deck taking advantage of it, really good call. Now, we do have Royal Knights being Royal Knights. This deck basically is very interesting. You know, he did place, Digiwatch played a spicy tech with Kyrie being able to be the mem setter, but having access to Revelation of Light, you know, being able to place, be a free recovery, and then making sure that your opponent can't just answer all your stuff, because that minusing, you know, effect is nasty. You know, all your opponent's Digimon and all your opponent's security Digimon get minus 5,000 DP until the end of your turn, making it not impossible for them to kind of just comfortably do things, right? You know, and you do have a yellow Digimon in the target of Magnamon. So, yeah, I mean, what are you going to be doing here? Like, your opponent has to be timing things right, and Island Adventure seems to be putting up so much work for a lot of decks, being a field spell that's just gives plus 3,000 DP to make your guys big booty. Now, this deck is the green-based top end for the none other than Adventure. This deck seems to be gaining some popularity because, again, with Mega Kabuterimon comboing in with, let's say, your War Greymon, allowing you to get more damage in, because, again, if that is the case, oh my god, it is scary to deal with. So, your opponent has to time things correctly, and I like that players are adapting and evolving. There's no real wrong way to play Adventures, and we're seeing this now more than ever. And a lot of players are like, yeah, Adventure's never going to top, it's not good enough, and it's not even playing the new, like, there was really nothing new in the set for EX-09, and everybody just finally took the time and started figuring out how to play the deck in a way that it was suiting their style of play. The fact that you can play Togemon and Birdramon, both abilities having to be able to digivolve on your opponent's turn, giving you like pseudo aces if you lose your stacks, which again is very powerful with the Courage United, when any of your level 5 or higher Digimon would leave the barrier delay. So being able to play a 5 or lower Digimon, and then you combo in with, you know, if your tamers with Adventures have 3 or more total colors, this Digimon may digivolve into a Digimon with Adventure trait in the hand without paying its cost. Just being for an on play, you can just combo in and then get these guys as effects, or you can just hard play them. But at the end of the day, your opponent has to be timing things correctly, and then basically, because you did the on play of Courage United, you get the counter timing, and then you can go right into Ace. So again, your opponent is not going to have a good time, because again, if you delete their thing through your when attacking skills, and because again you're still in resolving when attacking skills, Courage United comes in and activates everything else, boom, your opponent's going to now have to face an ace. And you know, you have War Greymon Ace and Metal Garurumon Ace that are very powerful aces in their own right. You know, being able to return something for every 2 colors, you know, you can return a 6 to the bottom of the deck, or you know, being able to play a level 4 from your trash. Then you have War Greymon Ace just being able to make protections. You know, that makes your opponent just have a bad day, and being able to, when digivolving, when attacking, delete one of your opponent's lowest DP Digimon makes great counter timing that just has a hard time being answered. And then here's Puppets. This one Travis played, and you know what? Good job, dude. This looks very well designed. He's very good when it comes down to these weird decks that you're not expecting, and you know, he does great. No promo. He is using the mem setter, which again, it's up to you. If you have the promo, use it. If not, use this Ariza, but probably going to be replaced with the new one that just basically draws you a card, because I think draw is going to be important, because at the end of the day, there are just times you get Chaperone or, you know, Kakukurumon basically out there, and you just can't digivolve them up. And I think I'm going to be testing something similar to the Nats list. I mean, regional list that had, you know, Namekamon plus other pieces, but I'm going to take Sophia Memory Boost and put in Vortex Resonance. I think those are all great cards that we're going to have access to. And I like the pawn Chessmon. I think it's going to be more, I think it's better benefits because, again, we just need the draw. To be honest with you, I don't think minusing DP matters anymore. I mean, the promos, as you can see, there is no promo in the list, and he did extremely well, which means you can actually do extremely well without the promo. And I think Pawn Chessmon is a really good pickup, and Namekamon is just being able to make it so your Digimon can't be Digivolved until the end of your opponent's turn is huge. I think that's one of their bigger issues of the deck, is that we can't de-Digivolve, right? But at least he's a puppet that can come in. So if you have 3 or more security, one of your Digimon can't have its DP reduced by your opponent's effects and isn't affected by de-Digi-Evolution effects until the end of your opponent's turn, which again combos extremely well with Kaguya-mon, because I think these two need to go hand in hand if you're going to have this out. If you're going to be playing the defensive strat, this is probably the best combination. You really need a Namekamon just to be able to turtle up, because if they're going to de-Digivolve you, you're screwed. Like, this deck's biggest weakness is being de-Digivolved, but if you can prevent that, you're in a good spot, because again, it's going to take a lot of resources to kind of stop what you're doing, right? So all in all, great stuff. I think a lot of the great players did a great job this weekend. I ended up playing in the event as well. I brought puppets. I didn't do as well, nor do as hot. It just happens, right? But at the end of the day, we have, you know, really good standings here. You know, DM version 4, Purple Hybrid, Negamon, and Adventures is great to see. But guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll catch you next one. Peace.